Commander Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of the UES Horizon, Earth's most advanced warship, watching the stars streak past. After 20 years of deep space exploration, humanity had finally received their first confirmed alien signal. The message was simple: coordinates for a meeting point just beyond Mars orbit. Approaching designated coordinates, Commander. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez reported from the helm. ETA 3 minutes. Chen nodded, her reflection grim in the reinforced plasteel. The horizon represented humanity's greatest achievement in space technology. A fusion-powered destroyer equipped with experimental quantum shields and plasma weaponry. Yet compared to what might be waiting for them, it could be nothing more than a primitive curiosity. All stations, report status, she ordered, turning to face her bridge crew. Weapons systems operational. All plasma banks charge, reported Lieutenant Wong from Tactical. Quantum shields at full capacity, called out Dr. Elena Petrov, their shield specialist. Long-range sensors active, no contacts yet, added Lieutenant Rodriguez. The bridge crew, handpicked from Earth's best and brightest, maintained their professional composure. But Chen could sense their underlying tension. This wasn't just first contact. This was humanity's debut on the galactic stage. A sharp tone cut through the silence. Contact, Rodriguez announced. Multiple objects emerging from something. It's like space itself is folding open. Chen watched as massive shapes materialized through tiers in spacetime. The alien vessels were beautiful in their alienness, crystalline structures that seemed to float impossibly through the void, pulsing with internal light. She counted 6 ships, each easily dwarfing the horizon. Opening hailing frequencies, Communications Officer Maya Patel announced, broadcasting first contact protocol messages on all standard frequencies. Seconds stretched into minutes as they waited for a response. The alien ships maintained their position, their crystalline surfaces shifting and refracting light in hypnotic patterns. Commander, Rodriguez called out, his voice tight. Energy spike detected from the lead vessel. There. The rest of his warning was cut off as a brilliant beam of energy lanced out from the largest alien ship, missing the horizon by mere kilometers. The message was clear. This wasn't a diplomatic meeting. Battle stations. Chen barked. Evasive maneuvers, pattern delta. Return fire, all plasma banks. The horizon's engines roared as Rodriguez threw the ship into a series of complex evasive maneuvers. Streams of plasma fire erupted from their weapons, splashing against the crystalline hulls of the alien vessels with minimal effect. Shields at 80% from near miss. Petrov shouted as another energy beam sliced through space where they had been moments before. Direct hit would have cut right through them. Chen's mind raced. The aliens' technology was clearly superior, but they had seemed surprised by the horizon's maneuverability. Perhaps that was something they could exploit. Rodriguez, plot an attack vector straight through their formation. She ordered. Wong, divert all power to forward plasma banks. Petrov, channel shield energy to reinforce our bow. Commander, that's suicide. Wong protested. Their weapons will tear us apart. They expect us to keep running, Chen replied, her voice steady. They don't expect us to have the audacity to charge straight at them. Sometimes the best defense is a decisive offense. The horizon wheeled around, its engines flaring as it accelerated directly toward the alien fleet. Energy beams crisscrossed space around them as Rodriguez executed a series of random micro-jumps, making their approach unpredictable. All weapons, fire on my mark, Chen commanded as they closed the distance. The alien ships began to spread out, seemingly confused by their aggressive approach. 3, 2, 1, mark. The horizon unleashed its entire arsenal at point-blank range, concentrated plasma fire hammering the nearest crystalline vessel. At such close range, the alien ship couldn't bring its main weapon to bear effectively. Its beautiful surface began to crack under the sustained barrage. Their hull is failing, Wong reported excitedly. Some kind of chain reaction building up inside. The crystalline ship exploded in a spectacular display of light and energy, its fragments tearing into one of its companions. The remaining alien vessels quickly backed away, their formation broken. Reading multiple fold space signatures, Rodriguez announced, "They're retreating." One by one, the alien ships disappeared back through tiers in spacetime, leaving only debris and questions behind. The bridge crew erupted in cheers, but Chen remained focused. "Damage report," she ordered. "Shields at 45%. Minor hull breaches on decks 3 and 4. No casualties," Petrov reported. "We got lucky, Commander." Chen nodded grimly. "No, we got surprised." And so did they. But next time, they'll be ready for us. She turned to face her crew. "Send word to Earth. Tell them first contact has failed. And tell them to prepare for war." As the horizon limped back toward Earth, Chen knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had won its first interstellar battle, but they had also made their first interstellar enemies. The aliens would return, likely with greater numbers and modified tactics. But humanity would be ready. They had proven they could stand up to a technologically superior force. They had shown that humanity wouldn't go quietly into the night. And perhaps most importantly, they had learned something vital. Even advanced aliens could be surprised, could make mistakes, could be defeated. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to adapt, to think creatively, to do the unexpected. Those traits had just saved the horizon. And they might just save Earth in the battles to come. 2 weeks after the first encounter, the UES Horizon drifted silently in the shadow of Europa, running on minimal power. Commander Chen watched the holographic display, showing the debris they'd salvaged from the destroyed alien vessel. Dr. Elena Petrov had barely slept since they'd recovered the crystalline fragments, working alongside the science team to unlock their secrets. "Commander, you need to see this." Petrov's voice crackled through the intercom. Her excitement was palpable even through the static. In the makeshift lab they'd set up in Cargo Bay 3, Petrov stood before a floating shard of the alien crystal, roughly the size of a dinner plate. It pulsed with a faint internal light, responding to the neural interface headset she wore. "Watch this," Petrov said, concentrating. The crystal's glow intensified, and patterns of light danced across its surface. The crystals aren't just their hull material. They're their computers, their weapons, everything. And they respond to neural patterns. "Neural patterns?" Chen asked, studying the shifting lights. "Yes, but here's the fascinating part." Petrov removed her headset and handed it to Chen. "Try it yourself." Chen slipped on the interface. Immediately, the crystal's glow became erratic, its patterns chaotic. Warning klaxons blared as power fluctuated throughout the cargo bay. "Take it off," Petrov shouted. Chen yanked the headset away, and the crystal settled back into its previous state. "What just happened?" "Human neural patterns are fundamentally different from theirs," Petrov explained, her eyes shining with discovery. "Our brainwaves don't just fail to interface with their technology. They actively disrupt it. That's why our point-blank attack was so effective. At that range, the ambient neural emissions from our crew interfered with their systems." Lieutenant Wong burst into the lab. "Commander, long-range sensors detecting multiple fold space signatures. They're back, and in force this time." Chen's mind raced with the implications of Petrov's discovery. "How quickly can you weaponize this?" "The prototype's already built," Petrov replied, gesturing to a larger device in the corner. "We just didn't know what it did until now. It's a neural amplifier, designed to enhance brain-computer interfaces. If we modify it to broadcast human neural patterns." "Make it happen," Chen ordered. "Wong, get us combat-ready but maintain emissions control. Let them think we're still crippled from the first encounter." The next hour was a blur of activity as the crew prepared for battle. Through the viewport, Chen watched as 15 crystalline ships emerged from fold space, their formations more cautious this time. They'd learned from their previous defeat. Neural disruptor online, Petrov reported from her station. But, Commander, we have no idea what kind of range or effect it will have. This is completely untested technology. Everything humanity does in space is untested, Chen replied. That's our advantage. We're used to flying blind, adapting on the fly. They're not. She opened a channel to all decks, all hands, battle stations. Today we find out if humanity's greatest weakness, our incompatibility with their technology, might actually be our greatest strength. The alien fleet moved methodically, sweeping the space around Europa with energy beams. They were being thorough this time, leaving no room for surprise attacks. They're jamming our conventional communications, Paddle reported from comms. And their energy weapons have been modified, different frequency than before. Chen nodded grimly. They'd adapted their tactics, just as she'd expected. But so had humanity. Bring the neural disruptor online, she ordered. Full power. Petrov activated the device. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the nearest crystalline ships began to shudder, their elegant formations wavering as their systems went haywire. It's working, Petrov exclaimed. Their crystal matrices are destabilizing. The neural interference is cascading through their entire network. Take us in, Chen commanded. All weapons, target their command ship. Let's show them humanity's got a few surprises left. The horizon burst from Europa's shadow, its engines at full power. The alien fleet, their systems struggling against the neural interference, couldn't coordinate effectively. Their energy beams fired wild, their formations fell apart. Wang's fingers danced across his tactical console, launching a barrage of plasma torpedoes. They struck true, hammering the alien command ship's destabilized crystal hull. Cracks spread across its surface, light pulsing erratically from within. Enemy ships attempting emergency fold space jumps, Rodriguez reported. But the neural interference is affecting their dry systems. They're tearing themselves apart. Chen watched as the alien fleet dissolved into chaos. Ships collided, their attempt at retreat hampered by malfunctioning systems. Others simply shattered, their crystal matrices completely destabilized by the human neural patterns. In less than 10 minutes, it was over. The space around Europa was littered with crystalline debris, sparkling in the distant sunlight. Only 3 alien ships had managed to escape, limping away through unstable fold space portals. Stand down from battle stations, Chen ordered. Petrov, power down the neural disruptor. And get me a secure channel to Earth Command. They need to know what we've discovered. As the adrenaline of battle faded, Chen contemplated their victory. Humanity had found its edge, not through superior technology or overwhelming force, but through the very thing that made them different. Their incompatibility with alien systems, once a disadvantage, had become their greatest weapon. But as she stared at the floating debris of the alien fleet, a troubling thought nagged at her. Why had such an advanced civilization never encountered human neural patterns before? What had driven them to attack without attempting meaningful communication? There were still too many questions, and Chen had a feeling they wouldn't like the answers when they found them. 1 month after the battle at Europa, Earth's orbital shipyards hummed with activity. Commander Chen watched through the horizon's viewport as workers attached the final components to their upgraded neural disruptor array. Similar modifications were being made to every ship in Earth's hastily assembled defense fleet. Latest intelligence report, Commander, Maya Patel said, handing over a tablet. Long-range probes have detected a massive gathering of crystalline ships near Saturn. They're assembling an armada. Chen studied the footage. Hundreds of alien vessels clustered around Saturn's rings, using the ice fragments to repair and rebuild their ships. But something about their behavior seemed off. They're not preparing for an attack, Chen muttered, watching the footage again. Look at their formation. They're arranged in a defensive sphere. They're protecting something. Dr. Petrov joined them at the viewport, dark circles under her eyes from endless hours studying the alien technology. Commander, I finished analyzing the crystal fragments from their destroyed ships. There's something you need to see. In the science lab, Petrov displayed a holographic model of the alien crystal structure. Their technology isn't just responsive to neural patterns, it's alive. The crystals grow, adapt, learn, and I found these embedded in their matrix. The hologram zoomed in to show tiny structures flowing through the crystal lattice. They look almost like blood cells. Chen finished. The ships aren't just their technology. They're part of them. Exactly, Petrov confirmed. We're not just fighting their vessels. We're fighting their bodies, their homes, maybe even their children. And they're terrified of us. Our neural patterns don't just disrupt their technology. They cause them physical pain. The revelation hit Chen like a punch to the gut. No wonder they had attacked without attempting communication. To them, humanity's mere presence was an assault. Commander, Wang's voice came through the intercom. Earth Command is ready for the strategic briefing. In the Horizon's conference room, holographic representations of Earth's military leadership appeared around the table. Admiral Santos spoke first. Commander Chen, your discovery of the neural disruption effect has given us a fighting chance. The question is, how do we use it? Chen stood, activating a tactical display. The aliens are gathering near Saturn, but not to attack. They're defending something vital. I propose a surgical strike. Hit them where they're most vulnerable. Force them to negotiate. A preemptive attack, one of the generals asked. After what we've learned about their ships being alive. Precisely because of what we've learned, Chen replied. They're not mindless aggressors. They're scared and in pain. Sometimes the best way to end a fight is to prove you can win it, then offer peace. After hours of debate, the plan was approved. The Horizon would lead a strike force of 5 ships, using the rings of Saturn for cover as they approached the alien armada. Their mission: identify whatever the aliens were protecting and neutralize it. As the strike force moved into position, Chen couldn't shake a growing sense of unease. The alien fleet's behavior didn't match their technological capability. Why would such an advanced civilization be so defensive? Multiple contacts, Rodriguez announced. They've spotted us. The alien armada burst into action, but their response was chaotic, almost panicked. Their defensive sphere tightened around a particular section of space. There, Chen pointed. That's what they're protecting. Petrov, what are you getting from that sector? Massive energy readings, Petrov reported. Some kind of fold space anomaly, but different from their normal drives. It's more like a door, Chen finished. They're not here to attack Earth. They're guarding their escape route. But escape from what? Before she could pursue that thought, the battle was joined. The alien fleet moved to intercept them, their crystalline ships glowing with deadly purpose. But this time, humanity was ready. Neural disruptors, full power, Chen ordered. All ships, commence attack pattern Delta. The effect was immediate and devastating. Waves of human neural energy washed over the alien fleet, causing their crystal ships to shudder and spark. Some vessels shattered outright, while others spun out of control, their systems overwhelmed. But the aliens fought back with desperate intensity. Energy beams sliced through space, claiming 2 ships from the human strike force. The Horizon's shields buckled under repeated hits. Press the attack, Chen commanded. Push through to that anomaly. Whatever they're protecting is the key to all of this. The Horizon plunged deeper into the chaos, its neural disruptors causing havoc among the alien ranks. They were almost within scanning range of the mysterious fold space anomaly when everything changed. The anomaly pulsed, expanding rapidly. The alien fleet's defensive formation collapsed as they scattered in apparent terror. And through the growing rift in space came something new, something that made the crystalline ships look primitive by comparison. Mother of God, Wang whispered as the sensors registered the scale of what was emerging. Commander, that thing is bigger than Earth. Chen stared at the monstrosity emerging from the rift, understanding finally dawning. The crystalline aliens hadn't come as conquerors. They'd come as refugees, fleeing something far worse, and humanity had just helped tear down their only defense. The entity that emerged from the fold space rift defied comprehension. It was a writhing mass of dark energy, its surface rippling with patterns that hurt the eyes to look at. Where it passed, space itself seemed to warp and tear. All ships, full retreat, Chen ordered, but the command came too late. The entity released a pulse of energy that caught one of the remaining human vessels. In an instant, the ship didn't just explode. It ceased to exist, along with all hands aboard. The space it had occupied became a void, an absence that shouldn't be possible. The crystalline aliens were fleeing in all directions, their ships leaving trails of fractured light. Through the chaos, one alien vessel approached the horizon, broadcasting on all frequencies. The signal resolved into a series of crystalline tones that the ship's computer struggled to translate. "They're trying to communicate," Patel announced, her fingers flying over her console. "It's like they've adapted their entire language structure to something our systems can process. The translation is coming through now." "Follow." The word appeared on their main screen. "Follow or die." Chen looked at the approaching monstrosity, then at her crew. They had seconds to decide. "Plot their course," she ordered. "All remaining ships, follow that crystal vessel." The Horizon's engines screamed as they pushed to maximum acceleration, following the crystalline ship away from Saturn. Behind them, the dark entity began consuming the space around it, breaking down matter and energy into nothingness. The crystalline ship led them through a series of precise maneuvers, eventually bringing them to Titan, Saturn's largest moon. As they descended through its thick atmosphere, Chen saw something impossible. A vast crystalline structure buried beneath the moon's surface, glowing with the same inner light as the alien ships. "It's some kind of base," Petrov said, scanning the structure. "They'd been here for years, maybe decades, hiding under Titan's atmosphere." The remaining ships, 2 human vessels and a handful of crystalline survivors, landed inside a massive hangar. The atmosphere was quickly pressurized with a breathable mix, and Chen made the decision to attempt direct contact. She chose a small team, herself, Petrov, and Patel, to exit the Horizon. As they stepped onto the hangar floor, a group of the crystalline beings emerged from their ships. Chen's first thought was that they were beautiful. Their bodies were similar to their ships. Translucent crystalline structures that pulsed with inner light, roughly humanoid but with more fluid geometric forms. One of them stepped forward, its surface rippling with patterns of light. The universal translator in Patel's hand processed the display. "We are the Lumini. You have wounded us, fought us, but now you must understand. The void comes for us all." Over the next hour, the Lumini shared their story. They were once a peaceful race, spreading across the galaxy, seeding worlds with their crystalline technology. Then they encountered the void, an ancient entity that consumed everything in its path, breaking down the fundamental forces that held reality together. "Your neural patterns," the Lumini explained, "they cause us pain because they resonate at a frequency similar to the void's energy signature. We thought you were its harbingers, its heralds. We thought destroying you might prevent its arrival. We were wrong." "How do we fight it?" Chen asked. "There has to be a way." The Lumini's lights flickered in what might have been resignation. "We have tried for centuries. Our weapons pass through it. Our strongest shields shatter before it. We can only run, hide, survive." But Petrov had been studying her readings intensely. "Maybe that's been the problem," she interrupted. "You've been trying to fight it with order, with structure. But human neural patterns, they're chaos to you, aren't they? Unpredictable, disruptive." The Lumini's lights pulsed rapidly as they processed this. "Yes, yes. Your neural patterns disrupt our technology because they introduce chaos into our ordered systems. And the void is pure order," Chen finished, understanding dawning. "It breaks everything down into its most basic components. It enforces absolute entropy. But chaos, true chaos, might be able to disrupt it. We would need to work together, the Lumini said. Combine our crystalline technology with your neural patterns, but the interface would be incredibly painful for us. Chen looked at the alien beings, then back at her ship, thinking of the crew they'd lost, the terror of their first encounters. But she also thought of Earth, of humanity, of all life everywhere that would eventually fall to the void if they didn't stop it. We've hurt each other out of fear and misunderstanding, she said, but now we have a choice. We can run, like you've been doing, or we can stand and fight. Together. Yes, it will be painful, but sometimes pain is the price of survival. The Lumini's lights pulsed in what Chen was beginning to recognize as determination. Then let us begin. We have little time. The void's hunger is endless, and now that it has found us again, it will keep coming, Chen finished. So let's make sure we're ready when it does. Humanity's chaos and your order. Together we might just have a chance. As they began their work, combining human neural technology with Lumini crystals, Chen couldn't help but appreciate the irony. The very thing that had made them enemies, their fundamental incompatibility, might be the key to saving them all. But would it be enough to stop an entity that consumed reality itself? They would soon find out. 2 days of non-stop work had transformed the horizon into something entirely new. Crystalline structures now grew from its hull like gleaming branches, each one housing a human crew member in neural sync with the Lumini technology. The pain of integration had been intense for both species, but they had pushed through it, driven by the knowledge that the void was growing stronger with each passing hour. Commander Chen sat in what had once been her command chair, now a crystalline cocoon that linked her directly to both ship and crew. The sensation was overwhelming. She could feel every part of the horizon, every crew member's thoughts, every pulse of the Lumini systems. Through it all ran an undercurrent of pain from their alien allies, but also determination. The void has consumed 3 of Saturn's moons, Paddle reported, her voice echoing both through the air and through their neural network. It's growing exponentially. The combined human Lumini fleet hung in space near Jupiter, watching the approaching darkness. They had 12 ships total, 3 human vessels, and 9 Lumini crystal ships, all modified with the hybrid technology. Each ship now carried both species, their conflicting neural patterns creating a controlled chaos that they hoped would be their salvation. All ships report ready, Wang announced. The neural crystal matrices are stable, relatively speaking. Chen closed her eyes, feeling the energy flowing through the ship. The hybrid system was barely controlled, like trying to contain a lightning storm in a bottle. But that was the point. They needed chaos, unpredictability, something that couldn't be broken down into ordered components. The void has detected us, one of the Lumini announced, their thoughts translating instantly through the neural net. It comes. The entity that approached them seemed to have grown larger, if such a cosmic horror could be measured. It moved with purpose now, aware of their presence, hungry for the ordered patterns of reality that it consumed. All ships, execute attack pattern Alpha, Chen commanded. Remember, we need to hit it from multiple vectors. Don't let it focus on any single target. The fleet split apart, each ship moving in seemingly random patterns while maintaining their overall formation. The void reached out with tendrils of dark energy, trying to grasp them, to break them down into nothingness. Neural disruptors to maximum, Chen ordered. Lumini, channel your pain through the crystals. Let it amplify the chaos. Every human crew member cried out as the Lumini's agony flooded through their neural connection, but they held on. The crystals covering their ships began to pulse with strange energy, neither ordered nor random, but something in between, a new kind of force that hadn't existed until humans and Lumini joined together. The void recoiled as the first blast hit it. Where the hybrid energy touched its surface, the darkness seemed to ripple, its perfect entropy disrupted by their controlled chaos. It's working, Petrov shouted through the neural net. The void can't break down our energy because it can't predict its patterns. But the entity was ancient and powerful. It lashed out, catching one of the Lumini ships in its grasp. The crystalline vessel shattered instantly, its crew's death screams echoing through the neural network. Another tendril caught a human vessel, erasing it from existence. Press the attack, Chen commanded, pushing through the pain of their losses. All ships, concentrate fire on the coordinates I'm sending. There's a disturbance in its surface pattern, a weakness. The remaining ships coordinated their assault, pouring hybrid energy into the spot Chen had identified. The void surface began to bubble and churn, its perfect darkness marred by spots of chaotic light. Detecting a cascade effect, Petrov reported. The chaos is spreading through its structure. It's trying to adapt, to impose order, but it can't predict where the next disruption will come from. The void writhed, its tendrils flailing wildly as it tried to maintain its coherence. Where their hybrid energy struck, patches of normal space reappeared, reality reasserting itself in the face of chaos. Maximum power, Chen ordered, feeling the ship straining around her. Everyone, pour everything you have into the neural net. Humans, embrace the chaos. Lumini, guide it with your precision. The unified fleet hit the void with one final, massive burst of hybrid energy. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the entity began to collapse in on itself, its perfectly ordered structure, unable to cope with the fundamental unpredictability they had introduced into its system. The void imploded with a silent flash, leaving behind a swirling maelstrom of energy that slowly dissipated into normal space. Where it had been, the stars shone again, reality restored to its natural state of beautiful imperfection. As the adrenaline faded, Chen looked at their losses. 5 ships gone, hundreds of lives lost, but they had done it. They had proved that the universe's greatest threats could be overcome not through superior force or technology, but through cooperation, through embracing differences rather than fighting them. We should maintain the alliance, she said to both her crew and their Lumini allies, not just for defense, but for exploration, for growth. We've created something entirely new here, a perfect blend of chaos and order. The Lumini's agreement flowed through the neural net, along with something else. Excitement. They had spent centuries running, hiding, surviving. Now they could live again, could explore and create alongside their new human allies. As the fleet turned toward Earth, Chen felt a deep sense of satisfaction. First contact had gone wrong, terribly wrong, but they had found their way to understanding through adversity. Humanity had proven itself not just through strength or ingenuity, but through its ability to adapt, to cooperate, to turn enemies into allies. The hybrid ships streaked through space, their crystalline surfaces pulsing with inner light, carrying the seeds of a new civilization, one that would face the universe's darkness not with fear, but with unity, creativity, and hope.